As their peers were fighting fires or making arrests, they were also working, employees behind the scenes, making sure the city's police and fire departments kept operating during the pandemic. And tonight, they're fighting for their share of COVID-19 hazard pay.
It's very disappointing that they somehow or another got excluded.
Both the union for the Nashville Fire Department and Metro Police have filed grievances with the city, saying more than 140 of their members were excluded from hazard pay only after they believed they qualified.
Certainly, they're disappointed. They feel like they've had their backs turned on them, and the Metro government's not keeping up with what they promised.
To earn the hazard pay, employees had to prove they would come in direct contact with the public, meaning staff inside buildings were often excluded. But their unions argue those employees often did work with the public and were exposed to their peers coming in off the streets.
They certainly were exposed to potentially COVID-19 positive spaces and people, and I'm certain that some of them probably were exposed to the disease themselves.
The grievances come at the same time the city grapples with another hazard pay crisis, this time in the Metro Parks Department, where 110 employees have to pay back $267,000 in hazard pay after a mistake made by a Metro department submitted incorrect hours. Today, I asked the mayor, is that fair? These employees have to pay it back for something that isn't their fault.
This is no fault to our Metro Parks employees. We're going to do this correction as compassionately as possible.
All right, translation, the mayor says that they have to be good stewards of this federal money from the CARES Act. Bottom line, it will have to be paid back. Tracy, Lauren, back to you.
Yeah, so Jeremy, I know you've been reporting on this all week. In your investigation, have you been able to figure out who exactly determines which of these employees get hazard pay?
We did today, Lauren. So the bottom line is that a committee was formed last year, and it was made up of employees with Metro HR, Metro Finance, and the mayor's office. They were the one that looked at the criteria for who qualified for this hazard pay and made the decisions. As for what happens next, it will now go to an administrative law judge and the Civil Service Commission. We will see how this unfolds. Lauren, back to you.
We know you'll keep us posted, Jeremy, and you can stay on top of our coverage of this controversy surrounding Metro Parks workers having to repay that hazard pay. It is something that you guys have been clicking on like crazy. WSMV.com, the News 4 app, that's where you can get yourself up to speed on this. You'll find the documents that set off this News 4 investigation.